Now we're actually going to examine up close and personal some of the different commands that we've talked about for troubleshooting purposes. You can see we're consoled into our router 1. We have router 6 right behind it here. We could actually start off with the show IP protocols command. Of course, it lists the IGRP because that's the IGP running on this router. But notice here, it lists the autonomous system number. It shows any configured filter lists incoming or outgoing on a global basis. This tells you that the synchronization process is disabled. This is the no synchronization command, which can cause a lot of trouble. Automatic route summarization is disabled, meaning no auto summary. Now notice here, it's talking about an aggregate address right here for one of the things that we configured. So you can see that information. It shows neighbors with some specific things that have been configured. We have some route maps here for AS path prepending and wait configuration. Maximum paths 1 is we would have to use the maximum paths command under BGP to change that. And then obviously different things that are being brought by the peering routers. So that's one command. Obviously, show IP route BGP to show all the routes specific in the IP routing table in BGP. You can see down here is that aggregate address. Notice it's to null 0. That's important. Show IP BGP summary, which is your best friend when you're looking at neighbor relationships. Notice it shows the peers, the autonomous system number, messages received and sent, the version of the table, how long they've been up, and then it also shows the number of prefixes. If you've only advertised a small number of prefixes and there are more or less in this particular statement, that's a good thing to look at. You do show IBGP, neighbors. Let's do 10.6.6.6. We want to do this by itself. It would show us all the gory detail about the neighbors. I'm going to execute out of this command because I want to show you something else. Advertise routes. What routes are being advertised from router 1 to router 6 by BGP? Notice the default route that's being advertised at the top and then a whole host of prefixes along with AS path information and such. Now we want to actually look at what's being received from router 6. The same information, but it's showing what's being received, what's being brought back in and being advertised. So that's a very, very helpful command. Another thing that you can do is you can do debug IP BGP. Notice here you've got a whole bunch of choices. You wanted to look at BGP events, for example. We could do all the messages between here and router 6. For updates, clear IP route. We'll clear the routing table. Notice now we're seeing some update commands. And actually the neighbor relationships have been reset. So show IP BGP summary. Idle. If we wait a few moments, the neighbor relationship could come back up quickly because we've shortened the timers to make it happen more quickly. Here we go. Notice it's showing it's done initial updates from. Notice now there's a whole great deal of information that's being generated specifically because we're looking at the update information coming from the router that's the peer. So we're going to turn this off now. This is one way of being able to just demonstrate a lot of the things that are available with BGP. You can see if you ever have any questions about what's applicable in BGP, just do show IP BGP question mark. You can see there's an entire cacophony of different things. It can even show you route maps. You could also just do the show route map command with that, showing all of what's going on in these different packets that have been sent and received. And those are a little bit of the troubleshooting commands that you can use with respect to BGP.